Hello and welcome everybody to the E2 Direct and Digital Marketing Workshop. I'm very glad to have you all here today for the first start of the training schedule that is obviously available for you guys all, and hopefully you guys can use all this necessary content to support you all on your projects at your firms. Then you will also get all the support required, and also just ideas to give you guys the tools to run social media activities. And today's session will be a breakdown into social media marketing. So guys, if you have any particular questions, feel free to send them in the group chat as well. Then what we will do now is obviously we'll go through some housekeeping at the beginning, and then we will go straight into the content that you guys can obviously learn from today. Okay, so before the actual start of this workshop, some housekeeping is generally, if you'd like to come off mute, then please raise your hand on the Zoom. I'll give you guys an indication of where you can do that. You can obviously find it by clicking on the icon that gives you the chance to raise your hand, and I will come in and enable you to come in on any particular question or any answers you want to give to any questions throughout the session. Please also be very respectful and professional to any other colleague of yours on the course today. Listen very carefully, and everyone else is obviously should not interrupt each other, and this generally just limits any disruption and make sure that it helps the workshop to be run smoothly. Okay, now like I said, don't feel shy not to ask any questions. At the end of the workshop I will obviously get to answer all your questions. It's brilliant, so thank you very much guys. So by the end of this session I will discuss this. What are the characteristics of social media? So the functions and the characteristics, I will discuss that in detail. What marketing goals can support social media marketing support? I will define to you guys the 4 major zones of social media activity, and also provide examples of the 4 zones in social media marketing. And also I'll provide you guys all examples of the vehicles in which to conduct social media marketing. They all differentiate into many sections, and also I will distinguish the stages in processing of social media strategies and planning, and that will be your bedrock in planning and achieving and executing social media strategies. I'll discuss with the importance of social media marketing, the integration, and how paid, owned, and earned media works together, and how you can integrate the 4, and that can give you hopefully that can resonate with you all. And like I say, it will give you the chance to know how paid, owned, and earned media works together. Okay, so guys, like I said, this is the Zoom tool annotation tool. It is available on the top side of your Zoom top of the screen. You can participate in the activities, so you can sort of annotate and give examples of any particular questions that we may be doing throughout the session. You can participate in these activities. These annotation tools are just to give you a chance to participate. At this particular stage, we will go through the taught content. So we'll go through content, and we will get the chance in next workshops to participate in doing group work. But not particularly today. We won't be doing any particular group work, guys. So thank you very much for your patience. So what we will do is I will give you guys so the definition today for what social media marketing is social media can be considered as two separate words. And therefore, the social part refers to the interacting with your target audience by sharing information with them and receiving information from them. The media part is considered as the channel of communication, for instance, like the internet. And however, more traditional form of media is TV, radio, and newspaper. Those are more traditional forms of media. You know, the social part specifically relates to the interaction you have with other people. So how you share information with them and receive information from them. And also the media aspect refers to the channels of communications like the internet. The internet is a lucrative tool to communicate with your audiences, to communicate with your friends, family, business partners, potential customers. And certainly these traditional media channels have evolved over time and formed social media. So TV, radio, and newspaper. And this is more of a traditional form, and social media therefore might be considered as web-based communication, and that enables people to fundamentally interact with other people, essentially both sharing and consuming personalized content, personalized information. Okay, so what makes social media very interesting is that the content is tailor-suited to your attributes, to your behavior, to your preferences, because once you start a social media profile for yourself, certainly the social media platform would ask you questions to sort of get an understanding of your interests, so that certain marketing communications is tailor-suited to you. You certainly could do the same by the data that you see, the trends that you see in the market. It enables you to specifically have marketing campaigns for individual people. So you can, for instance, if you're doing particularly a email marketing campaign and it's being sent to people specifically, you can make sure that the email is sent by name and using a specific tool to obviously send out. So generally, when you're sending, when you're tailor suiting, personalizing content, name tends to be one form of personalization. Also, another form of personalization is, the type of words an individual may use. So for that obviously there's a CRM platform to use, and then that is a bit more sophisticated. But at this particular time, if you look at analytics in social media marketing, particularly on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube as well, if you're not aware that it gives you a lot of data you can look at first. To be fair, it will be overwhelming because of the amount of data you will see, but if you look carefully, you will obviously understand the trends. So the type of demographics that are looking at your content, so male, female, age groups, and particular interests, you can determine who's looking at your content the most. And then you could obviously do further research to get an understanding of their preferences. So by testing and getting further knowledge on their behaviors. Okay, but we will go into further detail in next workshops about data and how to analyze and obviously analyze data, and how to look at data and the trends that you can obviously look at once analyzing that. Okay, so now we will move on to the 4 zones of social media marketing. There is 4 zones, and these 4 zones were introduced by academic theorists Tutun and Solomon, and Tracy Tutun and Michael Solomon created this form. And these 4 zones gives you knowledge on and it splits the zones in social media marketing. And as we are known today, there's also these four zones are regularly in the mainstream media on a regular basis. So if you look at social community first, which is the first quarter, for instance, you get social sharing, you get to socialize, and obviously, and you join into conversations as well in the social community. So for instance, you would have forums on social media where you join into conversations, leaving reviews on products, and that could for instance, that will be a community where you share your experiences. If you do leave a review for a particular product that you buy online, it just helps up the actual product over a long period of time and just gives loyalty to that particular brand. Social community would be, for instance, a WhatsApp group where you have a group of friends or a group of that have similar interests, where you share certain information, or a particular group where we have the E2 Direct and Digital Marketing group. So if you haven't already joined the page, feel free to join the page. It is available on Facebook at E2 Direct and Digital. Also do have a look at E2 Online for further communication, and you can also have a look at all the content and projects we have available, which you could certainly take part in. Social publishing is the second quarter, so that will be sort of more form of social publishing, so editorial content, commercial content, and user-generated content. So user-generated content is, for instance, the content you create online, so any comments that you leave, any reactions that you leave, any shares that you do, or any particular content you create, that is generated by the user. Okay. Editorial is more form of outlets, newspaper outlets, or major media stream companies that create editorial content, and they tend to advertise mostly also on social media platforms. A lot of the newspapers nowadays, well, major newspapers have transformed their brands into a digital brand. So they are more looking for digital subscriptions on their newspapers online, rather than purchasing newspapers in store, although that traditional form is still available, and it's more it's obviously a form that a number of demographics certainly still have interest in, but the option to increase, well, bring the age subscription to the online form of newspapers is to bring them up to younger demographics. So editorial content is created for that particular reason, for social publishing. The fourth quarter below, which is social entertainment, that will be more particularly like gaming, music. So nowadays you get music concerts online or YouTube. You get gaming activities on PlayStation 5. You get also Xbox, where you have competitions amongst friends, family, and you sort of participate in gaming. And the social element is that you can communicate to these people live, and you can enjoy the games and share content amongst each other as well. Arts is another part of it, the social entertainment. So you get arts, the arts, for instance, theatre arts online. Because we've had the coronavirus pandemic, a lot of industries have ceased and stopped, which has led to the transformation and the adoption of social entertainment has exponentiated over time, has grew. And moving on to the social commerce, that is sort of a form of selling. So creating a CRM platform, and majority of large technological firms and businesses with huge budgets, huge budgets, will use a CRM platform to more specifically dig down on and get an understanding of their communities, their audiences, and just, you know, sort of get an understanding of their preferences so that they can appropriately market to them, and form advertising budgets that will indeed bring a return on their investment. Retailers tend to use social commerce the most. So they tend to use the power of Facebook and Instagram to push sales and to push visits to their websites, or either they will use further social media tools such as Snapchat, WhatsApp, just to communicate. And email is a massive method for communicating with audiences, and email marketing tends to be the one form of media that gives audiences knowledge on deals that are available to them, and just for them to regularly communicate with their audiences. The social commerce part is also another part where consumers tend to leave reviews for other people to look at, and so that brand loyalty and brand trust increases over time. And that's mostly by the customer, and it's down to the organizations mainly to push their behaviors in the right direction. And then over time, the brand will increase in their brand trust. And that will be down to nurturing your consumers in the right manner. Okay. And once all these four zones have been you're evidently active on these four zones, that will give your brand leverage and a chance to certainly get a share of voice in that particular market. So I'll give you examples on the four zones of social medias and marketing. So these are the vehicles in the zones. So you get social publishing, firstly, social community. You get accounts like Twitter. Twitter is massive, a tool that is used now, and a lot of technological firms are using Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Plus is no longer, it's not used much. I think Google have phased it out, and a lot of people tend to use sort of Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Snapchat as their main form, and WhatsApp as a main form of communication, and email with their communities and building a community. So for social publishing, you get blogs, and you get, you know, when you're talking on blogs with consumers, you know, they can read actual real life experiences of a particular brand. So if you're selling, if you're selling a clothing, for example, that's a really good example. People can talk about the journey a customer has taken, or if you're selling healthy, health products, consumers can certainly document their experiences by stimulating and through influencer marketing. I don't know if you've definitely been exposed online to influencer marketing, because that has been an essential tool for many businesses nowadays, is to get people's reactions on their product use, so that later more people who are interested in purchasing a similar product can obviously be motivated and influenced to purchase that product. So a lot of technological firms, a lot of industries are looking at are certainly using influencer marketing through these four zones. So you get social publishing, YouTube, etc. Okay, you get social entertainment. So you see the four, and also you see Facebook, social commerce in Facebook as well. These are just a few examples. There is a loads more that are currently in this. There is Pinterest that's missing. You get Medium, that is also a publishing tool for blogs. And there is obviously more that you can communicate with your audiences in a more diverse way. Okay. Right. So, like I said, in next workshops, we will participate in doing more group activities amongst each other. For today's session, particularly, is just to um, give you guys knowledge and theory on how the differences between what social media marketing is and how you could potentially use it, and give you guys knowledge on what social media is. Now, it's my interpretation, but certainly do further research. I urge you all to do further research into social media marketing. There is a lot of information that you can gain on the public domain, and certainly do endeavor on doing that today. Okay, so what is the difference between paid, owned, and earned media? Well, I'll tell you the difference is that paid media advertising has traditionally led marketing projects and initiatives. Paid media can guarantee the immediacy and scale that paid media can. The use of paid media is shifting and is becoming a catalyst that is needed at key periods to drive more engagement. So you would pay for a particular post or a particular advert to be, increased by number to more people online, so that more people can, audiences can view your content by paying the social media firm to rank it and expose it to more people online. Owned media is a channel you control. So you like a Facebook account, Instagram account, a LinkedIn account, etc. Is where you can control. So owned media, for example, would be having a fully owned media website. So your website's own media. If you own the domain, if you purchase the domain, you own that website, and you also partially own a social media accounts like Twitter and Facebook. Yeah. And also owned media creates brand portability. You can extend brand presence beyond your website. So particularly, it will give you the chance to regularly communicate with your audiences. You will certainly get messages and comments from consumers at different times in the day. So having a regular individual on the social media accounts, regularly analyzing sentiment on the social media accounts, it will just give that consumer trust. If there's a timely response, the response rate is something crucial to brand trust. Shows brand presence as well beyond the website through social media. Okay, owned media exists in many places across the web through social media sites and unique communities. So you may build a specific unique community for your to leverage and for consumers to participate and have a discussion. So if you're running a project, then it would be absolutely crucial to use social media to promote it, so that more people can have a look at your project. They can participate. You must have a call to action. So what you would like your consumers to do? Would you like them to share, subscribe? Would you like them to purchase or go to your website? Or you have to set a clear pathway for your consumers to interact with you. But the call to action is absolutely crucial. So I would suggest at least having 3 call to actions, just to give to stimulate your consumer at that particular time. It just amplifies the message more. By utilizing owned media channels, you can communicate directly with your consumers, and you want to engage with their brand. So it gives you your brand, increases your brand presence. Earned media enables your brand to permanently grow through word of mouth. This is created through social media activities. So you will learn how to listen to both your customers and respond to them very timely. So So either whether it be good, you know, you will obviously have to respond back to your consumers. It is crucial. So, and also bad comments can also be addressed. You can do them privately. I would urge to do them privately, any disputes, rather than sort of, you know, damaging your brand over time. And any disagreement or uncertainty or misunderstanding can certainly be addressed, but not publicly. To disregard any you know, any pitfalls that you may have. So try and stimulate earned media through word of mouth. So earned media can be stimulated through word of mouth marketing, and owned and earned media are vital to campaign management. It helps you to amplify and spread your brand message through complex paths. Consumers follow across devices, screens, and media. So loads of people would certainly be using the media through the media, gaining and understanding the media through a number of channels. So whether that be through smartphone, computer, and through gaining by insight through TV, the number of forms that people are gaining media information. Okay. So what are the steps in social media marketing? Okay, so there are 7 steps to planning social media content. If you use these 7 steps, it will give you a chance to have a very good social media project, and it just gives you a chance to be more decisive and more strategic in your approach. You have a more of a clear path you want to take. So, for example, first thing you would have to do is do a situational analysis. So, if you're running a project at your workplace, then you have to understand the situation. What is the project for? What age groups? What year? Who is the projects? What the project's going to be participating in? What activities are they going to be for the young people? What if it's for young people, for elderly people, if it's for a specific group of people with similar interests, you can understand it further by doing a specific situational analysis. Okay. You can write your objectives. We will go in detail how to do objectives. Objectives can be just writing down exactly what you would like to achieve by the end of this social media campaign. So, for example, would you like to communicate and post out every single day, or would you like to plan content for 30 days in advance? You could certainly do that. But then obviously you've got to make it very specific. So is it, how long will it take? So 30 days in advance. How often are you going to do it? How often are you going to check your social media account? Are you going to do it by the end of this quarter, or by the end of the project finishes? You've got to make a very realistic objective for you to achieve. Okay. So you would need to gather target audience insight. Okay, so to gain target audience insight, you would have to do some form of secondary research. You could certainly do some form of secondary research through by doing desk research. That will give you a clear understanding on your audiences, real life. And for instance, if you were to go on YouGov, it's a very good platform for you to have a look at and get further information on your audiences. And you can also do further research on by doing sentiment analysis on your target audiences. You can also look at newspaper insights. You could look at data sets on Facebook. You can, by this, I mean by data, Facebook will give you data on your current audiences. Yeah, you can find that by sort of downloading the content. You can download it in a PDF file. You know, if your Facebook account is a business account, there is a tab for you on the page to download and choose which form of data set you would like to gather. There is already data sets out there on the web public domain. It's just what you're going to have to do is just go on Google, type in exactly what you would like to information you'd like to gain, and just look at reliable sources, making sure that it's well within the last 5 years, just to get a better understanding of the media, the particular industry that you're doing research on. Okay, so the social media zones and the vehicles are going to be crucial for you by determining which zone you're going to use, and to certainly give your brand over time the chance to be evidently on all 4 zones. So if it necessarily means that you would need to be on those 4 zones, it will be crucial for you to develop it and give your brand more of a chance for consumers to see your brand and react to certain activities. So you can create an experience strategy through video. So creating a video like I am today. So you can talk about your brand, you can talk about your projects, and you can do testimonial case studies through video. Recording content is crucial. You can record content on a smartphone. You don't have to be too sophisticated by using a camera, although camera is brilliant if you are using one and you do want to learn to use one. But certainly a smartphone is more portable, can be kept in your pocket, it's pocket sizable, it fits in your hand really well. So you can use a smartphone as well. So when you're taking videos, and there's also platforms to edit the videos as well. We will go through in previous work in workshops, next forthcoming workshops, how to edit content, what platforms you can use to edit these contents. This will just give you knowledge on how you can edit certain content. It will give you further knowledge that you can certainly use. Webinars do also help. So pre-recorded content can be great, or live webinars are crucial. So, sort of creating anticipation and an urge for people to sign up. So you could firstly gather data. So emails, names, and interests by creating a date, time, and date for a webinar, right? Do you want to sign up? Please, if you want to give free content out, so it doesn't have to be a free product. It could be sort of a booklet that you're giving out, a booklet of all your projects, a form of a tangible product that consumers can look at and get information on. So that could be a brochure, that could be a booklet, that could be a free item that you have that you can offer to your consumers. People love free stuff. Whatever you can give for free will be brilliant. Yeah. And establish an action plan, and also execute and measure your campaign. So you can gather data regularly through surveying, so asking regular questions with your audiences, getting responses back. And this is going to be very crucial, that primary element of research. So, asking questions to your consumers is just going to allow you to learn your customers more. And, your people that participate in your project just gives them more chance to give their responses back to you. You can survey your customers or your clients on the social media platforms, or on your website. You might have a questionnaire on your website. It'll be a lot easier. You can send people to your website through the use of social media. Then in turn, you will get more website visits for your questionnaires to be answered. Yeah. Okay. So things to keep in mind is that you should demonstrate to tell a story. Okay, storytelling is crucial to your brand development. Identify your characters. So whether that be you have a brand asset, a brand ambassador for your particular project, maybe writing a case study on them, or either promoting them to promote your content. Yeah. And okay, showcase how your current situation can be defined. So you must have a clear outcome, and also giving emphasis on your project. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, a good action plan would be to have identify a specific customer group. So your project, this will boil down to your projects that you're doing. It will boil down to if you're running a project for the community. So during coronavirus, there were a number of projects, a number of charities were running, whether that be food projects, or whether that be money support projects. Defining the age category, defining the specific audiences that you want to gain, that will attract the right audiences over time. Okay, this comes down to developing a clear strategy by taking into consideration your product, if there is a price, the place, and the promotion. So we call this the 4 Ps in marketing. And a clear measuring plan. How long is this project going to be for, and etc. It just gives you more emphasis and a more clearer idea on how long you're going to run this project on for, and then you can plan a little bit, loads better. Okay. Right, guys. Thank you for that. So now we're moving on to Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a social media platform. Well, it's a scheduling platform for you to use. Hootsuite it allows you to manage a number of social media platforms all at once. You'll be able to schedule and publish creative content to the right channel at the right time. You will be able to track the effectiveness of campaigns in real time. Hootsuite will give you reports every single month on performances on every other social media platform. So on Facebook, if you've got Facebook plugged into Hootsuite, if you have Twitter plugged in, and Pinterest, or either LinkedIn and Instagram, if they're all plugged in, that means that they will track the activities people are participating in, what kind of activities, and then obviously the posts are being what posts are performing the most compared to others. It'll give you an idea, a better idea on the effectiveness of that particular post. Yeah. So you may want to put out similar content on a regular basis by getting understanding on what's working more. Yeah. And that gives you the effectiveness. That's how you monitor it, through data and through reports from Hootsuite. Yeah. Okay. And Hootsuite gives you that information in real time. Yeah. So Hootsuite enables you to interact with audiences all at once, so you can put out all your content that you have planned on all your 4 or 5 social media accounts you're on. So whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest, you can put content out, taking into consideration that if it's a design variant you're making, dimensions respectively for all the social media accounts, and then sort of putting the content all at once, or the captions that go along with it, or the call to actions that go along with it. You can all post that all at once on all the social media platforms and see where your audiences are viewing your content the most. Hootsuite will rank your performances and give you data on what tends to be performing the most. Yeah. Okay. You can keep your presence around the clock on Hootsuite. 24/7 automatically. You can schedule content in advance, so you can automate it. It's a lot more time efficient to automate content. Then Hootsuite also you can also include, allows you to use easy to use all the platforms. You grow your popularity, you grow your brand trust over time. You can plug in Google Drive, Dropbox to Hootsuite. You'll be able to find new customers and new clients on by joining the conversation by the use of Hootsuite. And there was a further video that you can watch on YouTube for this particular workshop. I'm not going to show you the video. However, feel free to visit Hootsuite and have a look at their content they have available. And you could certainly use that to your disposal. Yeah, and it can give your brand and your social media activities the added push and just sort of manage all the accounts all at one particular time. Yeah. Okay. Now key concepts. So moving on to key concepts for social media marketing. Okay. So social media covers 5 functions within an organization. It manages their marketing, their revenue, their customer service, any crisis management, and data and insight. Yeah. Social media is one of few digital channels. Yeah. Taking into consideration all the platforms that you're on as well, you can create real-time relationships with audiences on social media. This makes the channel very important and very powerful if your social media followers share brand content. Yeah. So it's a very lucrative tool to use that you could boost your brand. Yeah. And revenue can be gained. And look, social media is no longer measured by likes and followers. It's all about cookie-based tracking. Means the impact of social on bottom line. It can measure your analytics, your packages such as Google or Adobe. Yeah. So essentially, it's to grow your brand presence online. Yeah. And customer service. So it enables you to run your customer service activities on social media. So customers may share negative experiences on social media using networks such as Twitter and organizations. So crucially, you should try and dispute the turnaround for negative disputes should be very positive quickly. Otherwise, it could be very detrimental to your brand. Crisis management, again, just making sure that nothing escalates onto social media, because loads of other people are on social media. They can reshare content, which can be very detrimental for your brand. And data and insight, it gives you data gives your brand an insight, enables you to analyze sentiments of comments, get an understanding of the engagement rate of your consumers, see which demographic tends to be watching your post the most, and determine preferences by data. Okay. So marketing, so the more and more organizations are using social media. They're using influencer marketing, so sharing positive reactions. You should push consumers to also leave their responses, testimonial, case studies, actual real life reviews of your product is crucial for your brand development. If you got a first-time buyer or for someone who's never joined in your projects, gives them a chance to get experience from somebody who has already participated, giving them the confidence and the trust to your brand. Yeah. For example, a minute-long advert on social media is crucial, using the power of social media. It could be an effective tool to increase brand consideration online. Potentially, you could also do projects such as competitions. People love free stuff, or love the anticipation of joining into a competition. So for large industries such as utilities businesses, they tend to use social media certainly to just develop their brands over time. Yeah, you could too on your project, certainly by working in a group and then forming a particular competition or a particular post for social media. Yeah, right. So the revenue can be gained through the power of social media. So social networks such as Facebook allows you to advertise, to target prospect-based and interests of consumers. You can monitor online behavior, and this results audiences with a propensity to buy your product. This method makes the buying process a lot quicker and easier for consumers. It reduces the number of clicks, and essentially you would like your consumers to have more of a propensity to buy your product, and you do that through regular advertising and regular communications. Yeah, crisis management is crucial. So having an FAQ tab on your website for any concerns that you may have on a particular project or a particular, well, any more questions that are regularly asked, answers for those questions. 9 out of 10 social emergencies begin as operational. So service issues, for example, not being able to sign up for a particular project or a particular activity, giving directions to your consumers through social media is crucial. Limits the impact of distrust, and it limits any escalation on social media, and having that available on your website is crucial. But be very genuine as well. You know, it's very genuine to just say sorry for any crisis. Okay. And data and insight. So listening to, so Hootsuite gives you a listening tool. It allows you to get an understanding of your audiences, and also publishing as well. Yeah, you can publish on all social channels all at once. Yeah. So those are two forms of social monitoring. Yeah. So social networks as well. So in terms of the concept of social networks, this group owns, so for example, if your company will have a website, and that is their traditional form of media, and also ultimately the publisher on the website wants to drive awareness. If you're selling a particular products, yeah, you want to increase revenue, or you want to get more consumers or more clients to join your products. The only way you can administer this is by regular communications, yeah, and just planning content and using the steps to plan your content successfully. Now, I'm gonna give you some facts on the social media channels and how many people are currently using these channels on a regular basis. So currently there's 2.23 billion people on Facebook, active users. Currently, this is a stat measured last year. The number would have increased by now, which is an increase from the year previous to 2020, 2019, from 17%. So there would have been an increase further from 17% in turn due to the coronavirus pandemic, because online purchases have skyrocketed. People being evidently on social media has increased because people have more time on their hands. They did have more time on their hands, although normality is starting to form again. But daily mobile users on Facebook is 1.15 billion. Okay. You can certainly boost content on social media to try and get at least 1% of that daily average, or 10% of that daily average. That will be amazing. So you do that by, making sure that you have the opportunity to try and use boosting your content to specific audiences, demographics you can choose. But then you have to do further research on Facebook as well. Yeah. So for instance, you get demographics, 25 to 34-year-olds who represent 29.7% of users on Facebook at the moment. They are the largest group of demographics currently on that space. Average time spent on Facebook in a day is 20 minutes, which is a significant number and a significant time to get people to visit your website and participate in your project. There's currently 1.3 billion accounts on Twitter, 310 million active users, and journalists make up 24.6% of verified accounts on Twitter. And there's some more facts here for you as well. And Instagram is a lucrative tool to use as well. It's regularly evolving. You can use a number of different forms of Instagram. There's a number of different villages on Instagram. You've got Instagram stories, Instagram newsfeed, which is the post feed. You've got Instagram Reels and IGTV. So there are loads of form of Instagram. And certainly using all those forms is going to give your brand an increase. So creating content that can be transferable on those platforms is crucial. So 75% of Instagram users are outside the US, and journalists again make up 24.6% of verified accounts on Instagram. 83% of world leaders are in Instagram. That's just a fact for you guys, but certainly 1 billion users is the monthly average use on Instagram. So that is very significant. So it's crucial for your brand development to use that tool. Yeah. Here is a percentage of the distribution of Instagram users by demographic. So large demographic, as I said, evidently here, 33% are 25 to 34-year-olds. Old demographic, 65 plus, don't tend to use Instagram much, although it is growing and more people are starting to use it. So this number will increase in years to come. Okay, so, and finally, LinkedIn is another lucrative market. It's more professional, so it is a professional account for work professionals that they use, communicate with all colleagues, potential business clients, partners. It's a form to engage and interact in communicate with each other. So it's another form for you to use to also use on Hootsuite as well, and to regularly communicate with your audiences. Okay, now guys, I would like to thank you all for joining this workshop. Again, I do appreciate you all and your participation in this workshop. Again, if you're watching this workshop in a video format, the next video will also be a continuation of the next workshop that you can also continue watching. And certainly you've gained a wealth of data, to be fair. You may want to go back on this video and watch it all over again. Feel free to do that. But if not, guys, if you're live on this video today, thank you very much again. And I'll see you guys next week. And the ones that are watching on demand, thank you very much for joining this video today. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's E2 Online. And also don't forget to turn on the bell button to be notified of new posts. And don't forget to leave a like for this video. See you all soon. Bye.
Thank you very much for watching this video today. Make sure you leave a thumbs up for this video and you turn on your post notification so you never miss an upload. See you soon, guys. Bye.